Hey there and welcome back to SnowRunner. Now look at that beautiful factory right over there. We just wrapped that one up though. That was the paper factory section C. My oh my, it's a mighty factory in the middle of nowhere though. It's an eye catcher. Now we are going to do the Wisconsin truck trip. Oh yeah, we are going to deliver the paper, right? You know, the cellulose towards the train factory that we did actually fix with hauling the locomotive over there. That's beautiful. Now we are driving the Aven Horn A15. It's a beautiful one. I wanted to try something else than the Boar for the heavy hauls. And off we go though. Off we go. No matter what though, I do love the Boar. But I have to admit though, the Aven Horn, it's its own little tier, right? Isn't it? It just feels right for me. There we go. And before we actually go on, let's put that on though. Oh yeah, beautiful. Let's move forward and let's haul our first delivery of paper though. Isn't that nice? Oh, that's amazing. A close look right over here. It's kind of strange that we deliver it just open though, right? Because all the rain and the insects are just going flat against it. I don't think that's nice to actually make books from or anything else, right? You know, anything else. We could also make, we could turn this into a pulp and then, of course, you know, toilet papers, kitchen papers, you know, like paper towels, in other words. And yeah, writing, printing gear, all of it is possible. Man, paper though, we came a long way with that. Oh yeah, from papyrus. And of course, you know, animal skins we used as writing too, for writing actually. It's kind of strange, right, you know, that so much is done in our lives with trees. For real, think about it. And not just that, it is the most rare material on Earth. Not just on Earth though, in the entire universe. There are no trees anywhere else, as far as we do know, but there's gold and diamonds and everything everywhere else, though, in the universe. It's full of it. In asteroids, in planet cores, and, well, not necessarily cores, but, you know, inside of the planets, just like on Earth. So unappreciated, though. It truly is. Alright, let's put her in high gear. By the way, if you're wondering what the haze is, it's actually the chimneys blocking the little details, right, you know, of the light, of our warning signs. Or warning beacon. But yeah, you know, like, it is a good feeling. We came far with that factory. Look at the size of it too, right? And now we are delivering its product. Now, we didn't do that before, remember? Before we did fix trucks and all that stuff. And we never really transported the cargo. The final product. In the Yukon, we did deliver some very nice rocks with gold in it. But we never hauled the gold, right? You know, so gotta think about it, right? You know, this is the first time that we actually do that. And let's just say it feels amazing, and it really does. Just look how deep our tires are actually sinking in the mud. Oh yeah, the entire line that we are leaving behind. The trail. Or the tracks. We are conquering that mud, for real. Alright, off we go. Auto gear. Back to a little bit more speed over here. Sure, it's not a speed monster, the Aven Horn. You don't win any street races or rally with it. But what you do win with it is massive cargo amounts in a short amount of time. Put her in high gear. Although I do not doubt that high gear we will stay in it. Even with all of these rocks. The Aven Horn is something else though. It really, really is. 236 liters only. Wow. Wow, that is nothing. And 6.4 liters per minute. Okay, even with all this cargo. Sure, paper doesn't weigh that much though, but it stacks on. It's still a block of wood in the end. You know, like 8 liters around here. Uphill we are going to 9.6. This is much less than the Boar. I'm going to get some more diesel though on the way back here. Although there's a cute cashier working there though, right? You know, let's just not be a creep and just do it whenever we need it, right? You know, because if we go in there with a monster of a truck like this and we only have to pay $5 for half a liter or something, you know, the economy these days, not the best though. You know, it might look a little bit strange at us. There we go. I put it too slowly out of auto. But yeah, it will be a little bit of an excuse. I'm getting curious though how the Boar will actually work here. What the results will be. I think the Boar might get stuck though because we cannot push. Okay, the Boar has absolute weaknesses though, right? You know, and we cannot push ourselves over a rock because, you know, it has a lot of power to torque issues and control of it by spreading towards the axis. And the wheels just stop turning though, no matter where the rock is. And I do understand why it works, physics and all. But at the same time, the Boar is destroying mud. And I think there's a little bit of a joke behind it too. Think about it, right? You know, a wild boar, just cleaning its skin through mud. And they do that for cleaning it, absolutely right. Because think about it, who else is taking care of the insects? Only mud gives them a protective coat. But you never see a boar fighting rocks or moving rocks. You know what I mean? Kind of different though, huh? The entire vibe to see a trailer trailing right behind the truck. We have been hauling really with the trucks itself right now, but after a long time, here we go again though. Ooh, that was a close call. Yeah, you really have to drive different, man. You know, like you instantly know that you have to take the wide turns and all. It just feels so good. And, you know, like, there's a whole different mentality behind it, isn't it? Instead of just raw dogging it. And let's be fair, we all just raw dog whenever we have just a truck to worry about it. Right now we are playing a strategic game out of nowhere. See, a little bit slowing down so we don't hit the rails there. Or the electricity pole. But yeah, slowly it becomes a tactical game. I love it. I love it. And that's the best thing about this game. Sometimes it's like a rally, you know, when you're scouting with a fast truck. Other times it's an off-road adventure. Then it's a highway relaxing haul. And then it turns slowly into a wrestling match in the mud against the rocks. You know, trying to find a collectible or just to deliver massive amounts of hauls. And bang, there you go though. There you go. Tactics. Now, I kind of was hoping that there will be a new factory around here. So once we deliver this, we will definitely check that out too. It's getting late at night, but we are very close to the rail station anyway. So let's keep on hauling. Let's sleep over yonder. There's a cot with my name on it. Just call them in, right? Opa, there you go there you go. Nicely around these corners. I have to say though, right, you know, we have driven over maps that are horrible for long trailers. But here, this map, perfect for it. Perfect. I think you learned a lesson though while developing the game. But yeah, these are some... Yeah, this is different, and these are some different roads though that I'm used to with long trailers. And it feels so rewarding because there's a long stretch of highway that we don't have to worry about fallen trees or massive rock slides. Just like a little reward for all the hard work that we have gone through. But I do appreciate that, and I hope every map has at least something like that, you know. Because with all the work that we are doing, we definitely do deserve it. Alright, so maybe this is not the best course to go through. Yeah, maybe not so much. Maybe we should just take the normal road though. Because the turning axle with the rail is very difficult to actually execute. And this is actually the first of actually 4 holes. We have 16. They knew what they were doing. So it's going to be 3 and then a 1er. Ay. That's not something that I wanted to do, but... if it was only 15, right? You know, there you go. Now let's go grab the other ones. If I look back on our journey and look where we are right now, especially hauling a cargo like this, you know, like we often did go a little bit in a meme way, although I'm not a memer, you know, or a comedian, one might say. I should probably have guessed by now, right? You know, like I use very small but powerful trucks for massive cargos, and, you know, and we managed it though, but I have to say though, I changed quite a lot. I become more and more practical and analytical about our truck's performance, its strengths and weaknesses, like the Boar, like I mentioned in the last episode, where we do struggle against, you know, like small rocks and fallen dead trees, especially if there are rocks in mud, that is, or uphill. That is really devastating for the performance of the Boar, although it is a very powerful truck. Now, if you put the Boar in mud, it just keeps on going. You know, that's the beautiful thing about it too. And we are less about what I really love, because I can put those trucks away. But I'm more about starting to love something else more, and that's practicality. Right, you know, I love it. I just love to see which trucks are for what task, and I'm not shying away anymore for it, because we are using more and more trucks. And it's kind of funny how you as a gamer actually develop though with these games. Now, I'm also going to tell you, like, I will not be always playing optimization though, right? You know, I'm not going to go for the meta builds, like the most powerful trucks here and there, because that's the best for this task. But even a weaker truck I might be using, if it fits the task and the role that it can do. It might take us a little bit longer though, or we struggle a little bit more. I think we also have to look at it as an adventure and as a storytelling aspect, right? You know, because our trucks are telling the story, I'm just reacting to it, you know. And I'm also thinking more and more about different ways to implement everything, of course. So if I'm going to do another mission right now, I might actually go grab a quick truck for the last part of there, right? You know, of the 16th part, instead of, you know, hauling now everything with a crane on this one and then making our way towards here, because then we can have 6 on here right now. That will be a very smart thing to do if we just get a truck with a crane. But at the same time though, I want to be realistic about it. And that puts me and forces me to think differently about these trucks. And I'm sure you all go through it too. And I have noticed certain comments though, right, you know, about favorite trucks, but also about you know, like some advice and your opinion about which truck is good for which one. And I've noticed not one of you in the entire series has said, go for this truck. It is extremely powerful. It is OP. It is pay to win. But it's S plus tier, right? You know, way out of a normal S plus tier truck, you know? So I think we all think alike in that way. And that's very interesting though, because my background as a gamer though is that I did grow up with the first Nintendo console, and then later the Sega Genesis, and of course, you know, the Dreamcast, and then later on PCs, and I went hardcore into RTS gaming and RPGs. Think about games like CSR 1, 2, and 3. And then, of course, the first Elder Scrolls, second and third, especially Oblivion I love too. Skyrim I spent thousands of hours in. But it is not my favorite Elder Scrolls. And then, of course, I had my own, how do we call it, the VPS competitive clan back in those days, right? You know, you had clans instead of teams. And we had sponsors when I believe I was 13 or 12 years old. And I was pretty good about it too, right? I was really good at it. But I noticed a trend going upwards, right? You know, like more and more cheaters are playing VPS games, even back then. Back then it was, well, more rare though, right? You know? But it became slowly a trend and it really exploded once Twitch and YouTube did hit off. Especially when Twitch went off though, yeah, then the cheaters were just ruining almost every match you're in. And it also depends on your demographic though, right? You know, because there are a lot of cultures here and there. I mean gaming cultures, alright, not real life cultures. But yeah, there are lots of gaming cultures that are like, the best example is like pirating software, right? You know, it's like, why pay for it if you can just take it, you know? Like, I'm not going to judge that because in certain cases I can really understand the thought behind it. And sometimes I really agree with that too, though, although I will never do it myself. But think about, you did pay for a game once, right? You know, there are many examples of that on Steam about games that you did pay for, but you cannot download anymore because, you know, the developer did pull out of it. And like other software that is not out there anymore, but they are somewhere on the ROM, you know what I mean? So that games that you cannot buy anymore, unless it's like for 500 to 800 euros, if not thousands, that does happen, then I can understand it. But I don't agree with it. You know what I mean though, right? You know, because I also have to say that in a legal sense. But not just that though, I just don't really agree with it, but I really do understand it. But yeah, you know, like, my mentality was always quick and efficient, you know, like, quick, let's do it, let's go. And then with this game, I did learn to do the opposite. Let's go steady, let's go with the flow, right, you know, and let's just be professional about the things, how we are doing it. And sometimes you can actually see, right, you know, oh, let's just go for it, you know, let's just YOLO, it's a shortcut. And we do have some good moments with that, for real though, right? You know, there are things that I will never change because I think fondly of mistakes that we have done before and everything. Like tipping over with cargo that is very difficult to recover. Or in, what was it? It was, I believe it was Timir. No, okay, but yeah, it was. But Wisconsin is also a very good one. In the swamp, I did collect myself with a trailer, a truck, and we did put 6 long logs in you know, in the cargo. Now it was possible to do it, and it still is though. And then you have to get that out. Then you have to get 3 out later, and then you have to pack the cargo, so you have an entire trailer full of logs out of nowhere, and then you deliver that one, and then you have to do it again, right, by loading the other 3 that you did put on the floor for a second, And, you know, back and forth and like that. I do never forget these things, right? You know, but I've done it a couple of times. Sometimes it failed, like in time here. But yeah, those things will never happen. So there will typically be gamer moments in here and there, of course, you know. But man, it's a journey though. And I do appreciate it and I love it. And we just grow better and bigger and each time, you know. Wow, that's a personal moment, isn't it? Maybe a little bit late in the party though, but I was very curious about the P16, as you can see right over here. Though the Pacific P16 is a very, very special truck though. I think it's a classic that everybody really can appreciate though, if you give it enough time. But I know though for a fact it's popular on my channel, right? So, and I get why, and I love it myself. I only wish though that the little that's what we say, how do we call it, you know, like a tiny flatbed on top, that we could put some snacks on there and some gasoline and all that stuff, right? Some diesel canisters, that would be very cool. But what a shame though that I did not give this one a try sooner though. I'm very curious about it. It is a differential lock and we never truly hauled heavy cargo with this truck. So what we are going to do, we are going to use this big boy especially for hauling tons and tons of metal beams in the next episode towards that factory right over yonder though, to our right. I think that's a very nice little thing to do, right? You know, something nice for you and me to watch too. And well, we are almost done with the Wisconsin truck trip. Yeah, it really feels like a truck trip though. I think this highway was actually made for for this mission. I had to cough there on purpose and a little bit by accident because, you know, I'm not certain about it. But the thing though is it really feels like it was made for a truck trip because it feels like it. Now, this monstrosity of a truck though, I think, and I'm going to be fair with you, if it had differential lock, it would have been better than the Boar and the Aven Horn combined. I really do think so. I really, really do. Oh, I mean, it has differential lock. I mean, all-wheel drive, though. Hoppa, let's keep it going. All right. Like I said, though, even here, the last little bit, it went better through there than the Aven Horn, and it is quicker than the Aven Horn. So, yeah. All-wheel drive on this bad boy. Yeah, you gotta love it, though, right? You gotta love it. For real. And I believe we are going to use it also for the logs. Yeah, why not? We could swap that off though a little bit here and there. Like maybe long logs with this one or medium logs. You know, we will see, we will see. Suggestions are always welcome. I cannot promise that I'm going to listen to it all the time, of course, you know. Because if something comes up to my mind, what I think would fit a little bit better at that moment, though, doesn't mean that I'm just dismissing it, alright, you know? It's something that we have to be a little bit flexible in. But suggestions are always welcome, though. Let's park this one to the left side. Whoppa, beautiful. Now let's go grab that last bit, though, because this hauling has been beautiful so far. And by the way, it has a big, you know, like tank for the diesel. And of course, it doesn't use too much though. The Pacific P16 or P12, they are fantastic. Oh yeah, looking at the GMC right over here, huh? Doesn't it feel more natural to our channel right now? We are so used using these smaller trucks though. Oh yeah, it's kind of good though that we get these epic big hauls though here and there. Because it forces us to actually go outside of our using the normal size trucks, one might say. But yeah, I've been cheating there a little bit though, right? You know, cheating in a way like using an overpowered twin steer. You know what I mean? And I can actually say, right, you know, it feels a little bit like cheating using the twin steer though, especially when you know exactly how that truck is performing, balancing and, you know, everything like that. Because look at this. We don't have to worry here. We don't have to hold back on the trigger, right? You know, or on the pedal. We can just send it, like the Canadians love to say. So yeah, you know, like that over there. Yeah, that would be a disaster right there. That little slide with a twin steer. So, but if you can master that though, or if you are, well, mastering it means actually if you are highly aware of what's going on and you can adjust slightly to it, you will have a very easy time with the twin steer and your longer hauls. And that's why I made a little self-rule though, right? You know, with the twin steer. If you do agree with it, let me know, by the way, that we will use it a little bit less so that we are forced to use these a little bit more. You know, makes a little bit more sense, right? You know? Opa, there we go, boys. There we go. Well done. Great job. Here is your reward. Thank you very much. But I think that actually makes a lot of sense, though, because everything that we have done with the Aven Horn, the Boar, and the P16 right over yonder is looks like a baby right now compared to its papa. But yeah, you know, we could have done it with the twin steer, almost, if not quicker, though, because the truck is just quicker. You know what I mean? So, I do like these small rules. If you do know of a very fun one that doesn't cripple my gameplay, then let me know. I am up to almost anything, right? So, yeah. I mean, job well done, though. Job well done. Now, we are going to fix this one. So, we do need tons and tons of metal. And I believe there is just one, yeah, metal framing up there. We might just, well... up there though, we went a little bit left, but yeah, I really do think that we just have to do that right over there, and then we can go to the other side and produce more. I mean, we can haul that with the twins. I mean, you know, with the P16. Now the metal. Wow, where did that one come from though, huh? Now the one that we are going to do with the P16 is from our garage on the other side of the map, where we have a factory where we can actually produce them. So keep that in mind. I will see you in the next episode. I highly appreciate it. Yes, it's a shorter episode, but believe me though, it took me like 1 to 1.5 hours. Yeah, that's the base. Now, if I do a little bit of calculation though, we are 20 minutes over recording. So, you know what I mean though. It's a lot of extra work and I love it though. You don't see it. I kind of want to show it though, but it will be too much dead air though, one might say, or too much rambling here and there. And wow, this truck is amazing, man. I want to use it a little bit more often. It's the GMC Brigadier 8000. It's a beautiful truck. We are at 86 percentiles of the map. And yeah, you know, like uploading massive episodes though, I don't feel comfortable about it, you know, by uploading that. Because I do respect you and your time a little bit too much though, I might say, right, you know? So I think we all can appreciate that. So yeah, by that, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I really want to keep on going though. As you can see, it's difficult to say goodbye because I don't want to put my controller down. But I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.